my name's Lexi Furnish, and I'm a Master's of Athletic Training student at Manchester University. And just to give you a little bit of background, athletic trainers are healthcare providers that are here to prevent injury and illness and promote wellness, examine, assess, and diagnose injury and illness, give immediate and emergent care when necessary, provide therapeutic intervention when an injury or illness is present, and assume healthcare administration and professional responsibility. So overall, we are here as a profession to help you as athletes stay healthy and participate in your sports for as long as you can. Today I want to address the issue of sun exposure and make you aware of the fact that as an athlete of an outdoor sport, you are at a greater risk of developing conditions as a result of excessive sun exposure. If we think about your week, you are outside 2 to 3 hours a day just for practice and competitions. If you are practicing or competing 6 days a week, that puts you at anywhere from 12 to 18 hours of sun exposure. And that's not including any other daily activities that you have to endure that may expose you to the sun. The Academy of Dermatology says 1 of 5 Americans will develop some kind of skin cancer. And over 1 million cases will be diagnosed of basal cell and squamous cell sarcoma. Even worse, approximately 60,000 cases of melanoma will be diagnosed. All 3 of these skin cancers are due to many years of excessive sun exposure. As I previously mentioned, as an athlete that participates in sports outdoors, you are at high risk of this kind of damage. So to break it down a little bit, the basal cell sarcoma and the squamous cell sarcoma are 2 very common types of skin cancer. And normally they form on the parts of the body that get the most direct sunlight when you're outside. So this could be the top of your head, your neck, the backs of your hands even. They're very common on the face and forming on the nose. Whereas melanoma, which was the 3rd type of skin cancer I talked about, is the most serious type of skin cancer. And if it's not recognized and you allow it to grow, melanoma can spread quickly over many parts of the body. And this is the type of skin cancer that also can become deadly. Now that you know what's at risk, let's talk a little bit about what you can do as an athlete to prevent this. First of all, avoid sun exposure when at all possible. Avoid direct sun exposure if you are outside. So that may mean trying to find shade when you're out of a drill. That may mean trying to find times and places to do workouts inside rather than outside on your practice field or your practice course. Second, sunscreen. Only 8% of males and 4% of females at the NCAA level reported using sunscreen regularly. That is astronomical. So this is the little thing that you can do, is apply sunscreen over the SPF of 30 and apply every 2 hours. So if that means you have a 2-hour practice, you only need to apply once, the very beginning. Now if you do reapply, all the better for it, but 1 time every 2 hours. And you should be using enough sunscreen to fill about a shot glass with every application. Even on cloudy days, you need to use sunscreen because those harmful UVA and UVB rays will continue to go through the clouds. Just because you can't see the sun or feel the sun does not mean that you're not getting those UVA and UVB rays. So then, third, wear protective gear when at all possible. So we talked about the basal and the squamous cells, that they normally are affected on the face, the back of the hands, the top of the head, guys, if your hair is thinning, and females as well, or if you just naturally have thin hair, wear some kind of head protection, whether that's a hat or a helmet or a skull cap. Wear some kind of protective helmet or protective gear on the top of your head, because the sun is directly hitting it all the time. If you are in football, wear your gloves, because that will protect the back of your hands. If you are also outside, try to wear long sleeve, long pants. Try to cover as much skin as possible while you're in the sun. So then the last thing you can do to actively prevent some of these cancers from occurring is reduce the free radicals. So a physical and chemical reaction occurs in the skin when UVA and UVB rays start to damage, and it produces things called free radicals. Free radicals get in your skin and they start destroying the cells, the DNA, and the collagen production. So to eliminate some of the potency of these free radicals, simply add vitamins A, C, and E to your diet. Those vitamins can shut down the free radicals. So for vitamin A, that means try to eat more carrots, sweet potatoes, apricots, broccoli, the list goes on. For vitamin C, oranges, orange juice, strawberries, grapefruits. Then for E, you can use sunflowers, sunflower seeds, you can use spinach, and you can use almonds. So by adding those fruits and vegetables into your diet, you are increasing the vitamin A, C, and E level, which can reduce some of the potency of the free radicals and reduce the amount of damage they can do to your skin. So now I'm going to give you a couple tools to be able to check yourself. So a lot of us have what look like moles on our body, and most of them are benign, meaning they're not cancerous. We were born with them, or they just happened over time. But there are 5 ways to determine whether you should tell your parents about a mole or try to go see a doctor. And they all start with the letters A, B, C, D, E. Very simple and very easy to remember. So the A is asymmetry. So symmetry, as most of you have learned through school, is being able to draw a line down the middle of the mole or any object, and if you fold it across that line, they are same on both sides. So asymmetry means if you do that, they are not the same. If you have a mole that is asymmetric and they are not the same on both sides, that is a good indication that you need to make your parents aware of this and maybe go see a doctor to have it examined further. The second one is B, border. So here we are looking for a smooth border all the way around, which is an indicator of a benign or non-cancerous mole. If it has a not smooth border or scalloped or like wavy, then that is another indicator that you should probably tell your parents about it. And then again, maybe go to a doctor to have it checked out further. Then C, we're referring to color. So by color, we're looking to see if the mole that you have is all one color or if there are multiple colors. If there are multiple colors, that is an indicator that you need to tell your parents and maybe go see a doctor. Fourthly is D, diameter. So an easy test is to take the eraser of a pencil and put it up to the mole. If the eraser is larger than the mole, then it should be an indicator that the mole is benign. If the mole is larger though, then you should probably, again, make your parents aware of what's going on. And lastly is E, which is evolving. So benign moles or spots on your skin will stay the same over long periods of time. A mole that could be potentially cancerous will evolve. It'll evolve in the size, in the shape, in the color. So if you start noticing that you have a spot on your skin and it's getting bigger, it's getting darker, or it's growing in multiples, then again, you definitely need to make sure that your parents are aware of what's going on, and maybe tell them, or maybe ask if you can go to a doctor to get it checked out. So just to recap, we're looking for if your mole is symmetrical, if it has a smooth border, if it is one color, if it is smaller than a pencil eraser, and if it is the same over a long period of time. If those 5 things are true, then that mole is most likely benign and nothing to worry about. If any of those 5 things are not true, that's when you should probably make your parents aware of it, and just keep an eye on it. So finally, we're going to talk about what happens if you are diagnosed with skin cancer. What are the treatments? What will your life look like? It all depends greatly on the type of skin cancer you have. Like we've said, there are multiple types, even more than what I've mentioned here. And it depends on the severity. So we're going to talk about the least severe and then move to the most severe and what the treatment plans are for that. So starting at the least severe, those are cancers that are normally the basal or squamous cell carcinomas, or the ones that are detected early. So you can use pills, you can use medicated creams, you can use something called photodynamic therapy, which is the use of light to remove early skin cancers. And then as it gets a little bit more severe, we start talking about radiation, which again, we're still talking about the squamous or basal cell carcinomas. And then now we'll move into some of the surgical procedures. So there's something called cryosurgery, which they use liquid nitrogen to freeze the cells, which kills them. Or if it is very severe, we'll move into something called an excision, which means they have to go in and remove all of the cells that are affected with cancer. This could also lead you to have a graft of some sort, depending on the amount of skin that is affected. Like I said, it all depends on the type and the severity. Thank you all for watching and listening to what I have to say, and the guidance I have to give you on sun exposure and skin cancer. If you take anything away from what I've had to say today, it should be that you can do the little things to protect yourself now as an athlete while you have a greater risk. Cover yourself, use sunscreen, avoid the sun when you can. The little things will matter in the end. Thank you so much.